Oh,
No, don't do it. Just kidding. Go ahead.
oh. All right, here you go.
Welcome to Earl and the Idiot, the show that gives you the answers you need to take your business to the next level. With Earl Flormata, one of Vancouver's most sought-after business and marketing consultants, author of Business Engine Optimization, consultant to over 60 successful businesses, an all-around evil marketing genius with a combined total of more than $70 million worth of sales to his credit. And some idiot. Okay, here we go.
Oh, there you go. Earl's the cool guy.
The old
How's-
glasses. I love those things.
Yeah, those are awesome. I love the Thug Life videos where the glasses, there's someone pull something off and the glasses come down. That's some classic meme right there. Speaking of which, how's your eye doing?
Still not good. I only get about 2 to 3 hours of good eyeball time per day. So I gotta be really particular of what I spend reading on the internet, because otherwise that's it.
Jeez. And you're saying this wasn't because of the bug. It's something else.
Might be something else, might be diabetes related. So we'll see. We'll
Oh.
see. Crossing fingers that it's reversible or fixable, but we'll see.
Sending good vibes your way.
Yes, sir.
Before we move on, you mentioned just before we went on air, Mr. Bean. You said you were having a Mr. Bean moment.
Well, I just opened a Coke bottle, so if it were to
Yeah.
explode on air, that's bad. So I opened it before the show started, and so I can take a drink, but I don't have to do the awkward, open dance and then watch it explode on my lap.
Mr. Bean moment would be like if you had a sip of it and it was gross, but then you had to pretend to drink it because someone was watching you, but surreptitiously get rid of it, in a way that would be. We rewatched Mr. Bean not that long ago, and I watched it when I was a kid originally, like I was 10, 11 years old, something like that. And you're just like, oh, look at the funny man being silly. I watched it again now. That guy is a genius of the highest order.
Absolutely.
Like his ability to communicate a concept
Without
gestures, without speaking, gestures and facial expression alone, just having him sort of look at something and turn his nose up a little bit, and you completely get what he's communicating. This actually can tie into our discussion today. Nonverbal communication, right?
Absolutely.
We're
The
talking.
guy's a genius of what he does. So absolutely. It's funny. I think there was a special where he was being interviewed once, and some guy's like, you look exactly like, and he's like, I am. And they're like, no, you're just impersonator or whatever. He's like, but okay, well, whatever. And so
the guy said, I'll bet you wish you were him, don't you? Like, no, I really am him. He said that he actually debuted the character of Mr. Bean in Canada at the Just for Laughs festival.
Yes.
Because he wanted to debut it on the French stage in the French Canadian Comedy Festival, because people in England knew who he was.
Right.
The French Canadians weren't necessarily so familiar, so he wanted to make sure he wasn't trading on his name or his reputation, and he also wanted to make sure that the comedy translated across language barriers.
Yes.
So he wanted to perform for a French audience, and it absolutely brought the house down. And that's how that's how he decided to go ahead with a TV show for it.
Absolutely. Well, but between that and some of the skits he did, like Welcome to Hell, that's one of my favorites.
Yeah, that's a good one. The Jews were right, he says.
Freaking magical.
There you go. That's when I would immediately be like, I'm half Jewish, am I in?
There you go.
So, no, the ability to communicate non-verbally is actually perfect. Today we're discussing website design.
This kind of came out of a couple of things. Number one, I'll actually bring up our chat here, and in our chat, there's a picture.
Are you calling someone out?
No, there's the picture, and this picture.
Oh yeah, right.
Share the picture here, and we'll just describe it for people who can't see what we're talking about. But it's It says when every department chimes in on what should go in or on the homepage, and there's a picture of a pizza with M&Ms, a chicken, and just random stuff. An
entire chicken.
An entire chicken pizza is great, not the whole rotisserie chicken. I mean, that's crazy. So people complain about pineapple on pizza. I'm like, no, you shouldn't put M&Ms and chicken on the same pizza. Just saying.
Yeah.
So some
That would be
stuff doesn't mix together.
Yeah, that would be part of the website design where you do too much.
Yeah. And I know that this would be a good one for the both of us because we both had some fun horror stories of customers asking for crazy on a website. It's just like, no, you don't want that. And then they're like,
No.
yes, I do. And then you deliver it like, no, I don't want that. It just starts to do.
I bet. What's that?
It just starts to spiral downwards and just get worse.
I'm not sure if I told this story on the show before. I've certainly told it to you, but we'll make sure we get it on the record here. I had a client who wanted his website to be 2 columns, and he was thinking mobile website, 2 columns that scroll independently of each other.
This is the one I was hoping you would tell.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. So this guy, I won't say his name so he can't sue me, but
worst idea
ever. His product wasn't bad. I won't even say what the product was. The design was pretty cool. I would have been interested in the product and his design, but it wasn't. He thought it was going to change the world. This whole globe behind me was going to be completely different. I'll say what it is. It was a clip, like a stand for your phone, a clip-on stand for your phone. It was a cool design, but there were lots of clip-on stands for your phone. This one was just probably cooler than the rest, I guess.
Right.
Anyway, he wanted for the website design to be 2 scrolling columns like this, that you could scroll this one and scroll this one independently with text on it, a little bit of text. And then as you were scrolling, I can't even recall, was one column, like if one column was supposed to be one sort of data, one column was supposed to be another sort of data. Like there was no, well, on the left is data about this, and on the right is data about this. It wasn't even divided up like that. But that you'd scroll, and then as soon as you saw, oh, that's interesting, I want to know more about that, you click the text, and then that column would expand to fill the screen, or not even fill the screen, but push the other column off to the side.
Yeah.
And it was the most insane thing I've ever heard. It made no sense.
On mobile design.
On mobile, like maybe you could do a site like that on a full-size web page, but you're holding your phone vertically and then dividing it by 2 and having an entire sentence. And the text, he didn't want the text like, where it's text, whereas you compress the screen, it starts to turn into columns. His text was an image of text.
Oh my gosh, so it would shrink and get
shrink
unimaginably small.
Yeah. The text would shrink because it was a picture of text.
Yeah, so there's some do's and don'ts. Number one, don't make a 2-column website on mobile. So step number one.
And
step number 2,
here's my
for the love of all things holy. We were just talking about my eyes. I have to blow up the text on my screen, be like as big as my face so I can see stuff. I had to look at this monstrosity of a website. My eyes would just immediately stop working and bleed at the same time.
Yeah.
It was just like,
your eyes start bursting out of your head. But the kicker on this is the kicker from the sort of punchline to the story is, when he explained this idea to me, I needed the work at the time, and that's one of the morals of the story is have enough work that you don't need work.
Or crazy.
Yeah, you have a way to turn people down, and I did charge him. I won't swear, but I did charge him the a-hole tax. I charged him more than I ordinarily would for the work.
Yeah.
I remember when I was working in construction, this client knew he was an a-hole, and he said, "I know you guys are charging me the a-hole tax, so just do it, okay?" Like he knew we were charging him more because of his personality, and he didn't care. This guy charged him the a-hole tax, but then on top of that, I made him sign a contract at the beginning, and in that contract it said, "Client has been advised that his idea that I'm executing for him is a bad idea, and he will not like it. Client will not be happy with the end product I'm presenting, and if you want changes, that will be additional money to build to make the changes once he realizes that I was right." And I made him sign this, right?
That's
and
hilarious.
Yeah, and he was like, "Yep." But he was so sure of himself. He was so sure of himself um, that he signed the paper because he said, "Oh no, it's going to be fine." Sure enough, we get there, and I'm showing him, and he's looking at it, and he's going, "This doesn't really work." And the way he said this doesn't really work, it sounded like he was trying to imply it was my fault.
Right.
You know, I mean, this isn't working. What we need to do is we need to change it this way. And I said, okay, will cost you extra money as per the contract we signed earlier. And then he said, and I'll never forget this. He said, you keep referring back to this piece of paper, and I wish you wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If there was ever a red flag that says, run.
Oh, dude, I'm trying to think about like, I think in Mulan, in the new live action, I think I saw like there's a scene where they're dancing and there's like a field of people waving red flags and they're doing a whole dance and everything. It was like that.
Yes.
That's what the whole experience
a field
was.
of people waving red flags is awesome. I now need to find this scene. I'm going to cut it.
Find the clip.
And then we're just going to call it a field of red flags.
Yeah, it would make a good GIF. And then in the chat, when someone's talking about their customer, we just post up the field of red flags.
So that being our launching story here, why don't we just jump right in, because this is exactly what we're talking about.
We're talking about.
That was the website I was hoping you'd bring up when I brought this one up.
Yeah. And for the record, every now and then I'll remember this guy and I'll check his URL to see if there's a website there yet. Nope, still says coming soon.
No.
And it doesn't even say, here's the product, contact us, we're working on the website. Just the words coming soon is all that exists on this URL. So God knows what happened to that guy. I couldn't even find him. I Googled his name. I couldn't even find him.
Such his life.
Anyway, so we're talking about the function and purpose and function of a website. That's what we asked AI this week. And as you say, this is possibly something I can be a little less idiot on because this is my bread and butter. What are the do's and don'ts of running
just from sheer frustration of dealing with people and some of their terrible websites, right? And I know you've had some of these horror stories as well. And it's like, no, don't do that. Like, so I asked the almighty AI, what are some do's and don'ts? And it came up with a half decent list of do's and don'ts. And I figured that we could tell a little bit of a story from some of these things for the do's and some of those things for the don'ts.
Yeah.
And there's just some horror stories behind the don'ts.
Yeah. All right. So good.
Well, just saying, like, a horror story is like a 2-column mobile website. Just no. Don't do it.
Yeah. It could have sort of worked, I guess, on landscape mode. You would have been able to read the text, but I still don't understand the purpose of it. Like the only reason you want two scrolling columns is if you want to match them up. Like, okay, so if you have this kind of phone and this kind of something, they come together to make a new thing. That's the only reason you'd want two scrolling columns like that.
I have made a successful 2-scrolling site, but it's because I wanted this particular scenario. You rotate to one, and then it rotates to the other one, and then it gives you the thing you're looking for. And if you want to change the scenario up, you rotate it again, and then it kind of just rejigs the rest of the site, so you get the data that you want, as opposed to 2 separately controlled things, right? So
yeah, that sounds brilliant. That sounds good.
So
all right, so let's dive right into it. 25 minutes in. You get me started talking about this guy, and I just go off. I told that story so many times.
Well, why don't we start with the do's, because at least we're on a positive note, and then we can get into the don'ts, and then we can get back into the weeds again.
Right. So do's, start with a clear and compelling value proposition. Clearly communicate the unique value of your company offers to visitors. Highlight the benefits and solutions your product or services provide.
So that is something that people don't do, right? They clear and compelling value prop. What I've seen most people do is they just use their website as a glorified brochure, and they just list, and it's almost like word vomit of like everything. Here's everything we do, and the kitchen sink, and they treat it as if it's almost like a Chinese restaurant menu, right? you go to a regular restaurant, not a Chinese food restaurant, and there's like what, maybe 10 things on the menu, maybe 20 things on the menu. You go to the Chinese restaurant, there's like 1,100 different things on the menu. It's like
Yeah.
that's a lot of different combinations of, and the menu is like a book, right?
Mhm.
And so, when you're, I know I've told this story on the show before, but the ketchup versus mustard, like I like to people watch because I'm sadistic or something. And so I would watch this poor bastard try to go buy mustard, and there's a wall of frigging mustard. They're sitting there with FaceTime going, this one, no, this one, no, this one. No. It's just, it was
Yeah.
almost like that scene from Borat where like, hey, what's this? And it's cheese.
Cheese, the deleted scene.
And they would just go for like 30 minutes. And what's this? Cheese. And so, yeah, it's like, so clear and compelling value prop. Like, what is the problem you solve? And what is the offering that you have to fix said problem? If you do those things, your website is, and this is the sad part. It is like 90% different from all the other websites out there. All the other websites out there.
Now, I think probably a lot of people, like, they haven't even done the value proposition in their basic marketing, let alone
the website.
putting it on the website. Right?
It's atrocious on their business card. It's atrocious on their brochure. It's atrocious on their giant stand. It's atrocious on the web.
Yeah, atrocious in their pitch when they actually talk to you. It's atrocious there.
Well, yeah, wasn't there some guy that you were talking to that took you like 3 meetings to figure out what the hell you actually did? So yeah, it's the clear and compelling value prop. Until you have that set, that's what needs to go on the site, right? So
yeah. So you work it out first, and then build the site around it.
Absolutely. The next do is a doozy.
Yeah. Oh my God. Well, before we jump into that, this kind of ties in, but that's my number one criticism of websites I've seen. If they're good, like there's websites that are just garbage through and through, but I've seen more than a few websites that are beautiful. Oh, they're cool looking. The graphic design of them is awesome. But you look at the website and you're like, what are you? Are you a school? Are you a government organization? Are you some kind of environmental agency? Like, you have no idea what you're looking at or why you're there.
Well, it's just as bad as some commercials, right? I was just in Mexico like a couple of months back, and like you see this like beautiful dancing girl, and then you see this one jumping out of the pool with the whole bikini splashy thing. You have no idea what the hell they're selling. And in the last 3 seconds of the commercial, we sell coffee. Like, what?
What's yeah?
It's just no, but clear and compelling value prop, right? Like, what is the problem you solve? What do you fix? And then show me how you help me if I have this problem. Ta-da! And it's just, yeah, sex sells, but having dancing girls and people coming out of bikinis and pools and stuff, and you sell coffee, that's not even close, right? Doesn't compute.
I read this really great essay someone wrote based on an experience they had seeing 2 commercials back to back in the 90s. And the first commercial was, you might remember this. Commercials used to have a huge budget. I talked to a movie producer once who was like, we used to have big budgets for movie commercials or for TV commercials. They don't have big budgets anymore.
Yeah.
It was a commercial for, I can't remember. I think it was Cathay Pacific Airlines. It might have been British Airways or Cathay Pacific. This is how good the commercial was. I don't remember what it was for. Where there was like a beach, like a tropical island, a small tropical island, and they had people running down the beach with these long, like 100-foot long, colorful banners.
Okay.
Which they all sort of like coming from different ends of the beach, and they're all coming together, and I guess they formed the logo of the company or something.
Okay.
And there was a performance, like an opera performance in the background, and they actually like commissioned an opera singer to sing it for them.
Jeez.
You know what I mean? So they had to fly all these dancers to the island. They had to have helicopters flying around the island shooting this. And they hire the opera singer, blah, 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 blah. And then at the end, it's like Cathay Pacific, bringing you the world. Do you remember this commercial?
I remember that commercial, actually.
Yeah. I can't remember. I wish I knew the name of the song, because if I played the song for people, they're like, oh yeah, I remember that. So she's like late at night watching TV. This commercial comes on, and then it's immediately followed by like Crazy Yakov's discount car dealership.
Nice.
And it's just Crazy Yakov standing on top of a car going, hey, I'm Crazy Yakov, come buy a car from me, blah, 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 right? And these 2 commercials were occupying the same spot on TV back to back, one following the other.
Right.
And she sort of said in her article we don't actually know that much about what works in advertising. So these two commercials had exactly the same possible chance of landing a customer.
I vote Crazy Yakov. Anyway,
Crazy Yakov all the time, because he told, hey, my cars are cheap, come buy one. It's like, okay, great. The other one was like, British Airways, it's a amazing experience or something. It's like, are you cheap? Are you what?
Clear and compelling value prop. And
Yeah, sorry, I'm getting off the topic here.
It's got to just have one. It's just got to have one. Like when I was just making fun of the mustard thing, there's like 85 different kind of mustards, right? Like the guy can't make a decision because there's too many, right?
Yeah.
If your website has 11 billion different buttons to go do something, people are going to get that analysis paralysis and just freak out and do nothing, right?
Yeah. I like to offer on my websites, I like to have this right into the next one here. I like to offer a couple of different buttons that both do the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So
okay,
let's
read this. Cheese.
Yeah. Do you want mustard or mustard? So call user-friendly design, create a visually appealing and intuitive website design. My God, people, intuitive website design. Make sure it is easy to navigate, loads quickly, and is optimized for mobile devices. What do you think, Earl? Good idea?
Please, user-friendly. So Guy Kawasaki teaches how to write, like he has this really cool presentation template called the 10-20-30 model. And it's 10 slides, 20 minutes, 30-point font. And I can't agree with him more, right? 30-point font, as people with our bad eyes or old eyes or whatever. And the ones with the old eyes are the ones with the money, right? So, please sell to the guys with the old eyes. So 30-point font, like if you put stuff in like 8-point font and I have to squint to see that there's actually text there, yeah, I'm not buying nothing, right? So user-friendly design, make your like, it should be almost following the old rules of making a presentation, right? So first have a big happy word with a simple picture so people go, oh, I get it, right? And then once you've earned the right, then you slap a paragraph down, but don't make it like 10 paragraphs long off the hop to get my attention, right? Otherwise, if I see a wall of text, I'm horrified.
Yeah, and it's and you also got to think with user-friendly, like, where do people look for the info?
I don't know if this is on, because obviously we just asked the AI for this stuff. I don't know if it's on this list, but like when you have a site and there's this thing called below the fold that we still use the term below the fold, right? And it came from newspapers. When you fold the newspaper, anything below the fold you didn't get to see off the bat. So on the website, if you have to scroll, that's called below the fold. So make sure there's an offer above the fold. So before I scroll stuff, I have a very basic rudimentary understanding of who you are and what the hell you do. Oh man, we were looking at this one competitor site to one of our clients, and one of the buttons just said "Save discount now," and I'm like, I don't even know what you sell.
Save discount now,
and I had no clue what they sold. I'm like, the only reason I knew what they sold, I'm not going to name and shame them, but the only reason I knew what they sold was they had the keyword in the domain name. So like, oh yeah, we sell whatever. I won't name and shame it, but let's just say
shoes. We'll say shoes.
Yeah, sure, shoes, sure. So there were shoes in the domain name. That's the only reason I knew they sold shoes. I'm like, if I had looked at the site and not known that it sold shoes, I had no freaking clue, right? So there you go, user-friendly design.
Yeah, exactly. And also, I find, like, if you do, like you say, I like what you said there. You have to earn the right to show some text.
Yeah, earn the right to show.
You have to compel the person a little bit to be like, we offer this service. Click here to learn more. Like, now the guy's like, okay, yeah, actually I want that service. Tell me more. You take him to another page. Now you can show him some text. As little as possible, but more. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly. And that's that user-friendly design. Does it do I self-identify as someone who needs help in this particular arena? If the answer is yes, push this button. Then absolutely. Right. And
then the other thing is, if you're below the fold, like he's scrolling through some text and reading, the end of that journey should find him at another call to action.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. You don't want him to scroll to the bottom and then have to go back up to the top to figure out what he's doing.
Way there should be along the way, which is funny because that's the next thing on the list here.
Call to action. Yeah. I would describe it this way. I say, give the viewer or the user as many opportunities to do the thing you want him to do.
it is a really simple format to sell stuff and to sell lots and lots of stuff. Here's who we are and who we serve. Here's what we do, right? Here's what I'd like you to do. That's it, right? If you just keep it that simple, it's like, well, here's the problem that we solved. Here's the people that we help. Is this you? Yep. Here's how we help. Okay, cool. That sounds like it might be a fit. Push this button and have 17 of those buttons from top to bottom of your site. So eventually down the path, you're like, this makes sense. I should push the button now, right?
Yeah, exactly. So this is call to actions. It says include clear and prominent call to actions throughout your website, encouraging visitors to take actions such as signing up for a newsletter, requesting a quote, or contacting you.
So here's the key part. You need one call to action, just one, not 7, not 11, not 13, one. And the call to action that you should be doing is something by which you retain that customer's information so that you can bring them back to the site if they ever leave by accident, right? The dog barks, runs over something, pulls out something, and you're like, crap, you run off. You don't remember why the hell you're on that site. If you captured their email, their phone number, they downloaded an app, they did something, whatever the call to action was that lets them come back. That's the most important call to action. Hey, come back, you forgot us.
Yeah.
Right?
Or depending on your business, you can reach out to them if you want to, if they're asking for an estimate or something, right? But this, so like you say, you have a call to action above the fold here, click here for an estimate, but then also here's our services, learn more. Once they learn more about the services, now call me for an estimate. The journey should always end at a call to action. I like what you say, just one.
Well, because if you give 2, 3, 4 calls to action, now the customer has to decide which button am I going to push. And now when you force them to make decisions as to, doing this stuff, they're not going to want to make a decision. They'll be like, I'm confused. I don't understand what I'm supposed to do. Screw this site. Let's go to the next one.
Mm-hmm.
And then you meet Crazy Yakov and it's like, buy cheap car.
Yes.
I need cheap car. I'm buying from that guy instead of the beautiful site that leads me in circles. So
have car, M cheap. Buy now, click here.
I remember back in the day, my dad used to fix appliances, and I got the funniest call with this dude with like an awesome accent. And so I pick up the phone and he just says 2 words to me, fix fridge. And like, so and I knew exactly what he was looking for, exactly what he wanted. We were an appliance store, so that was awesome. And yes, fix fridge. Right. And I was able to book the call. And then my dad was able to go show up and fix his fridge. But that's a call to action, right?
Yeah, fix fridge. That's the classic Kevin Malone from The Office. Why use lot word when few word do trick?
Yeah, exactly. Fixed fridge. I couldn't have summarized. I don't think ChatGPT could summarize it any better than that.
Yeah. So okay, now this next one, this is a huge topic on its own, and it's not really a website design. So bad ChatGPT for putting this in here. But you asked the question, what should a website do, right?
What should a website do?
Yeah. So it says content creation. Regularly create high quality and valuable content that is relevant to your target audience. This can include blog posts, articles. What's the difference between a blog post and an article? Videos, infographics, and more. Optimize your content for search engines, SEO, to improve visibility. Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. Just make sure that you're following the rest of the stuff. So one of the crazy things is the call to action. If you build it properly, all roads lead to Rome. So you have this one pillar piece of content that tells people exactly who you are and what you do and what you fix. And you have these other pieces of smaller content that all lead to the big pillar piece of content. So, and then everything is the same thing. So even though you hit on this sub article or sub whatever blog post, and it talks about a specialty and then brings you back to the core, and then it tells you, hey, you want to book this or want to find out more, click here. And then you capture the information and then you share with them whatever they want, right? And that's content creation. So absolutely yes, but build a pillar piece, everything leads to the pillar, go from there.
Yeah. And if your website's not designed properly, all your SEO and all your driving traffic is wasted, or a percentage is wasted.
Yeah, absolutely. Which then leads to makes sense.
What's that?
Which then leads to the next thing on the list, which makes absolute sense.
Lead capture forms.
Yeah.
Which is also part of call to action. Use strategically placed lead capture forms to collect visitor information, offer incentives such as free guides, ebooks, or exclusive content to encourage signups. Here's the question, Earl, are we getting ebook overwhelm?
No. To this
Yeah.
day and age. Ebooks still convert at a very high clip. What people think that they need to do is they think that they actually need to make a book, like a big crazy book, multi-chapter, like goes on forever, that sort of thing. And you don't need it doesn't even have to be that long. But one guy's book is like 4 pages long. Right?
Yeah.
And as long as it scratches the itch and solves the problem as to whatever you're trying to fix, you're good. It doesn't
I'll tell you
actually.
right here.
Oh,
Hang on. There it is. This one got me. It wasn't an ebook. It was guitar instruction.
right.
And he got me. He's like, learn how to play faster.
Yeah.
And he narrowed it down. It wasn't like learn how to play guitar. Learn how to increase your playing speed with this one exercise.
But that's it. That is
And I was like,
chapter form, content creation, call to action. If it was user-friendly design, you'd know where to push the button. And if it was a clear and compelling value prop, all the stuff I'm just going backwards in our list, right? This makes the website useful.
Yeah, this guy got me, and I was like, you got me. I want to, and he was like, this is free. He was like, I was like, that's my biggest problem with playing guitars. I'm not quite fast enough.
Hmm.
And
You can't quite play through the fire and flames yet, no?
No. Yeah, it's the intro to Sweet Child of Mine is the one that still eludes me. I can do it, but just not to speed and not solidly enough. And if I was a younger man still thinking I might pursue rock and roll stardom, I probably would have paid for his course. I just play for kicks now and would like to improve my speed. So I took his free, it's not even an ebook. It's one piece of paper that I printed off. And then had to put up with him emailing me daily for the next 6 weeks. But he earned it. He earned it.
There you go.
And I still have yet to actually pull the guitar out and try the exercises, but it's on my mind. It's like I was able to reach it on my desk without moving, so it's really close by.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, I've digressed as I often do. But lead capture forms, then you can email them. Make sure in Canada, make sure you get those consents in the lead capture form too, right, for a contact.
Yeah. Well, it's better with consent because then they're expecting you. Right? You're not like an unwelcome visitor. You're not some weirdo trying to get in their email box. It's like, no, you ask for, hey, these guitar tips. Here's a bunch of cool guitar tips, right? If somebody gave me, I'm a piano guy, so if somebody gave me piano exercises to speed it up so you could actually play Flood the Bumblebee on speed, be down. Like, that's cool. I'd be interested in that. But again, it's just following the rest of the steps on the site to get to, hey, I always wanted to play this song and, add all the AI, juiciness to it. And so if you ever say, I wish I could play this, and every Alexa, Siri, Google, everything's listening to you. And then you just, in the site, plug that in. I've always wanted to play this. Oh yeah, how'd you know? Right? So
Yeah.
there you go.
Oh, I like this next one. This is interesting. Actually, I just talked about this with the client I just signed up. Testimonials and social proof. Display customer testimonials, case studies, and reviews to build trust and credibility. Social proof can greatly influence potential leads. Now, I think testimonials, it's kind of like you have to, but I don't think people put too much stock in them these days.
They do still, but it depends. So
it depends on what? Sorry, you cut out. It depends on what?
Depends on the structure of the site. Okay. So back in the day, like the old way of designing websites, you would actually have a testimonials page.
Yeah.
People would click on the testimonials page and then go through them all.
Yeah.
In this day and age, right, as of this recording, people don't actually do that anymore. If you look at the analytics of websites, no one goes to the pages anymore, right?
Because they assume they're going to be good, right?
Well, no, actually, the modern way of doing testimonials is you sprinkle testimonials throughout the copy in different areas where you solved a problem. You come up with a solution. This person thanked you for that solution. And they go, well, because it's now within the context of the content, right next to the call to action. So you just taught them something, you solved one of their problems. If you want more, here's an ebook. This is someone raving about the damn book. Here's the button, call to action. And if you do it that way nowadays, it's sprinkled and peppered across all the different pieces of content in relevant positions, right? Versus here's a giant, very masturbatory page of look how great I am, right?
Yeah. That's good. Do you think people trust the leads or the testimonials a bit more when you use one of those Google plugins that pulls the reviews from Google?
Yes and no. The trust is built in congruency. So when you dictate what a problem is out of the customer's mouth, and you use the words that they use to describe the problem, that's where the trust is built these days now. Like, so it depends on how you define what the problem is and what words you use to describe what the problem is. And good websites is like any good marketing, right? If you can describe someone's problem better than they can describe it, magically they put you in the expert seat.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Now on social proof, that's kind of a newer sort of buzzword. Some people may not be familiar with it, but there's something I think is really important on this. Social proof is the notion that other people approve of this thing.
Yeah.
Right. Like you want to date someone and you check to see if all of your friends think they're cool before you date them.
Right.
Right. But I think sort of maybe not exactly that, but the same sort of thing. This customer I was just talking to builds fences, and they were saying that they've got like a website and a display and they're local people and blah blah blah. Whereas a lot of guys are just working out of their van and it's not really that dependable. You put on the website a photo of all 6 people who work for the company wearing a uniform, standing in front of a branded vehicle in a location that's clearly this town.
Yeah.
Right. That instantly communicates we're a larger company where we got our shit together enough to brand our vehicles and create uniforms. And we are here in your town.
Absolutely. And there's your social proof that is also, backing that you are real, right?
Yes. Yeah. That was the problem I had with one of my customers who sells a product that you can order from AliExpress or Alibaba. It's a big product, a big ticket item. It's these container living units. So you can order them there, but he's selling them. He's Vancouver based. He's ordering them in, putting them together, delivering them to you, and guaranteeing them he's a Vancouver based person. So I wanted to make sure we got photos that are like clearly operating in Vancouver. We're not overseas an untrustworthy, very distant, unaccountable entity.
Right.
And you got to communicate that with photographs quickly.
All right. Well, on to the fun section.
You're moving me along because I'm ranting too long. You see, this is the mistake you're making, is choosing a topic where I have a lot to say, and now I can't keep track at all. So I expect some of these don'ts are just going to be the reverse of the do's. Overwhelming design, avoid cluttered layouts. Boo. Excessive animations, yeah. Or distracting elements may confuse or frustrate visitors. Keep the design clean and focused.
Do you remember back in the day when every website was made with Macromedia Flash?
Oh my God. Yeah,
and
everything was like,
and it would actually have loading time. And you're like, and you and your friends would be like, okay, wait, I know this is got to load, but it's going to be worth it. And then it just explodes into this cacophony of like music and flashing lights and dancing robots and stuff. We're like, that is the coolest site I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Now looking back at it as an adult, I have no idea what the hell they sold.
Yeah.
It was no different from the dancing girls and the bikini girl popping out of the water, except this one's flashing robots and shit exploding. And it's like, wow, cool. Look at that loading thing. And then it blew up in my face. Overwhelming design still is mustard. Look really cool. Guess how much I actually spent on that website? Nothing. Why? Because I have no idea what they did. I just showed people because it was cool.
Yeah. Yeah. The animation shouldn't be, it should be either just a quick little logo appearing kind of thing on the homepage, maybe. And then, the only other animations you'd want would be to illustrate a point that's best illustrated with moving pictures.
Yeah. I have I don't know if I should be saying this on today's show or not, if we're going to get demonetized or something bad might happen. So one of my clients sells adult toys. And one of the images on her website is a usage of said thing, because it's a bit of a specific
I'm slowly moving off screen here.
hides inside the planet. And the hilarity of it is it's a different thing. It's not your normal everyday utility toy thing. And so because it's different, they had to have diagrams. And so the animation is of the diagram of the usage of the thing, because you would have no clue how to use this stuff. It's like, how the hell is that even? Oh. And
I can testify that I had no idea how to use it. So it's true. Not that I'm well versed in these things generally, but no clue what it was without the diagram, which was very effective.
Which is a diagram that was simple, and you saw it and you're like, oh, got it, makes sense now. So overwhelming design, no, keep it simple. The animation should relay a point, right? It's just, don't know how to use this thing. Here's a simple diagram of how to use this thing. Cool, understood, got it. Oh, I forgot, you actually even saw the site, but we're not going to name names. So
we're not going to name names. Yes. You know, and this, like, I always try to cut down. Like, I usually when I'm designing a site, I'll sort of like put this in, put this in, put this in. Okay, I got to have that, and it's a process of removing.
Yeah.
Like, you put in everything you want, and then try to be like, wait, do we actually need that? No, that can go. That's explained here. That, you know, and then the thing you end up with, like, when at the end, it's all just like super stupidly simple, but you had to work out all the complications to arrive at this stupid simplicity.
That's how you achieve genius, right? It's in simplicity, right? And you find it through that simplicity. There's no shortcuts to it. It's just, is it simple? Yeah, cool. There you go.
Yeah. Oh my God. So the next one here, lack of contact information. Ensure that your contact information, including phone number, email address, and physical address, is easily accessible on your website.
So I'm going to call somebody out. It's a big company. I'm going to call somebody. It's a big company.
On you.
So we used to ship a lot of stuff when I was consulting for like companies that shipped physical products. And a lot of the time stuff would get lost, or we'd have no idea where something went, or the shipment went sideways, or who knows, right? Because logistics are a nightmare, right? And the UPS site, oh my God, UPS. I'm so thankful they changed it. But the UPS site used to take 5 to 7 clicks to find their phone number.
But don't big companies do that on purpose?
They did, but here was the problem. If I want to call you because I'm looking for something, and now I have to click through your site 5 to 7 times, if I was angry to begin with, I am furious by the time I clicked 7 times. So I will beat the crap out of your customer service person. So what happened was we were monitoring the so this is for like big companies. I used to do Fortune 500 kind of stuff, and we monitored if you made it difficult for the client to find stuff, like just like you were saying, the big companies do this to hide the phone number so people can't call them. The problem is when people did call them, it was an unholy nightmare, and they were so angry. Like the customer service rep had to calm them down first, because they're like, I took 35 minutes to find your freaking phone number, beep, 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 swear your mother. And it's just, what happened was when it was easy to find, and while they were looking up the number, they showed resolution steps to figure stuff out. People would calm down and go, oh, and you know what? So people would call and go, you know, I figured out it already, right? While I was waiting to hold, you know, we're good. Thank you. And the funny thing is it reduced the call time, which reduced the hours wasted by the customer service reps, which reduced the sinkhole of time that was there. So their original thinking was, if you hide the phone number, then maybe they won't call us. No, if you hide the phone number, we'll come looking, and now we're angry. So by the time
they'll find you.
Yeah. I feel like Liam Neeson. It's like, I'm going to find you.
Yeah. I have a special set of skills.
So lack of content information, make it easy to do. And then for heaven's sake, for everything that you do for a different campaign, use a different phone number. People don't remember phone numbers no more. The only phone number I remember is like, you know, my mom, right? That's about it. Anybody beyond that, all the phone numbers are just in my phone, and I just tell Google, Siri, Alexa, whoever, hey, call so-and-so, and it just does, right? Like, I've known you for forever. I don't know your phone number, right?
Why would you?
But that's the thing, right? So set up different phone numbers, test the phone numbers, see which ones ring, and you can then split test what they're actually doing and what's working, right?
Yeah.
And avoid right? So
what's that?
a VoIP number costs $1, you know?
Yeah. I remember back when he was still acceptable to talk about Donald Trump on The Apprentice.
Mm.
There was an episode. I've hardly ever watched it, but I caught one episode where the task was to create a sales packet for a condo development.
Right.
And he had two proposals on his desk in front of him from two of the different competing teams. And he suddenly realized, he's like, wait a second, the phone number on the front of these is different. It's not the same phone number for these two. Which one of these is the right phone number? And he had someone run out and figure out which was the right phone number. And the one that had the wrong phone number, he fired someone else and then also fired the person who had the wrong phone number. It was a 2-firing episode, which I don't think was normal.
No.
Usually one person gets fired. He actually made a special exception to fire the person additionally who screwed up the phone number on the brochure. So don't screw up the contact info. It's that important. You'll get double fired.
Ooh,
Here's one. This is kind of technical and not very exciting, but poor website performance. Optimize your website's loading speed and performance. Slow loading pages can drive visitors away, and Google will downrank you as well for a slow speed, right?
But people will also not want to use your stuff, right? If it's longer than 1 second to load these days, because of just the nature of how stuff works, people will bail on you if it takes longer than what they normally expect for stuff to work, and they don't realize that Google being sub-millisecond response time versus a mom and pop shop who don't have a bajillion dollars, right?
Yeah.
Is slightly different, but you still have to be within reason, right? It's not like those good old days of Macromedia Flash where a 2-minute load time was acceptable because of the exploding robots, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no more.
Did you ever see when on April 1st, April Fool's Day, Google advertised a job opening for autocomplete typer?
Yes.
Just highlights the ridiculousness of the speed with which, there's no lag at all. There's zero lag. You start typing and it's like, you mean this? Like, it's immediately on it. So yeah, technical, boring, but improve your page loading speed. And again, technical and boring, but neglecting mobile optimization. Yeah, make your mobile website.
Same thing, mobile speeds are slower. Make sure you don't have a giant billboard sized image loading on a mobile phone, because you don't need it to be a billboard sized image. Shrink your images. Love of all things holy, right?
Yeah.
So
website designers are getting pretty good now. Like, it's very often I'll design the website and they'll be like, all right, I better make this mobile friendly. I hardly need to change anything. They're pretty good at
nowadays, but
Yeah.
you still get the occasional, what were you thinking? Like, why is this picture the size of my hard drive? Yeah.
All right. Don't is ignoring analytics. Regularly monitor website analytics to gain insight into your visitor behavior, traffic sources, and conversion rates. Uses data to identify areas for improvement and refine your lead generation strategies.
Well, it's important because you need to understand your market for buying, right? So I used to be an SEO for car companies, right?
Mm-hmm.
The keyword Ford F-150 was the one that every Ford dealership wanted, even though it was the most useless keyword in the world. It actually didn't cause anyone to buy anything. But you add the magic word Ford F-150 Vancouver or Port Coquitlam or some city next to it, and it's like, that is the most valuable frigging keyword in the world, because now we're looking for a test drive, right? So analytics plays this data and says, hey, people buy when they look for this. Maybe you should do more of this, right? So
that is a real art form. So that's all the don'ts. There's some more tips here, and we're running out of time, but we'll just touch on implementing a live chat feature to provide immediate assistance and engage with visitors.
That's important if you're a high volume sales kind of organization, right? So if you have a chat function, people need an answer right away because they're trying to buy something, especially in a small ticket item like a SaaS type model. They're like, I just need to know, does it do this? Yes, great, go, right? I'll buy it, make it so. So there you go.
Yeah. That's a good point. I've definitely been like, I just want this one question answered. I don't know how to find it on your website. Just tell me, is it blah? And I guess AI is starting to take over this job now, right?
AI can do that sort of thing. So you feed the AI your FAQs. People ask the AI the question. It'll pull the data from the FAQs and give it. So
brilliant. Okay, we're running low on time. Let's hit the next step here.
Hit the next step being hack of the week.
Anytime.
Oh, I did it. Oh, did my share explode?
I didn't hear it. No.
Oh, hold on.
Oh, you're wondering why I was not saying the word.
I'm like, I pushed the button here. Just try it again.
Oh, I heard the end of it. There it is. Hack of the week.
For whatever reason, Zoom decided to hack the hack. So
Yeah.
I had to stop sharing, reshare, and then push the hack button. Anyway, hack of
That's
the week. Look at all your competitors' websites in your niche and in your physical local area. What do you like? What do you not like? Are you showing a problem solution pair? Most of them are not. I'm telling you now. We went through 20 websites in the financial planning arena. We went through 20 websites in the medical spa arena. We went through 20 websites in the dental arena, and they were just painfully all the same and all terrible.
You're always picking on financial services, Earl.
So, well, because that's one of my clients, right? And they're like, "Hey, I want to
Yeah.
just like this guy's." I'm like, "Really? Look at this guy's." Ugh. Right? And it's pretty, but it's useless. So, if you're offering a free consult like everybody else, that's not going to fly if the offer looks exactly the same as everyone else, right? So the test is real simple. Look at your competitors' stuff. Look at their reviews. Look what all the complaints are. Whatever those complaints are, that's exactly how you sell your stuff. If that's what you fix, right? And so there's your hack. Look at the competitors' websites, compare and contrast, change things. And here's the fun little test. If you were to take the text off of your websites and your competitors' websites, and you removed all the branding materials, so no mention of company names, does all your crap look the same? If the answer is yes, you're doing it wrong. So there you go. If you stripped all names, locations, and branding identity, and you looked at text, just text versus text, and it's all sounding the same, we have 100 years of experience doing blah, 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 blah. And it's like, oh my God, it's all the same, right? And
so if it's all the same, then either you're both doing it wrong or you're not differentiating yourself. Either way, something's got to get fixed, right?
got it. There you go. And there's your hack. You change it, all of a sudden, you got these best practices, these do's, you're not doing any of the don'ts, and all of a sudden your site starts printing money. You're like, what happened? Well, you're using your website the way you're supposed to.
Brilliant. Okay, I guess that's it. Any closing thoughts?
Please don't make 2-column websites on mobile.
Please listen to your website advisor when he tells you your design is not going to work.
I think this show, obviously being like a public service announcement, and it was more cathartic for us saying, please don't make ugly websites that are slow and don't tell people what you do.
You know what's crazy? If that guy had listened to me and built a website, like just said, okay, you design the website then and let me do it, he could have been selling like that. This was coming up on 10 years ago now.
Yep. 10 years.
He could have been selling this whole time.
Absolutely. So
Poor fool.
go.
All right.
Fix fridge. Those were my last words. Fix fridge.
Yeah, fix fridge. All right, play us out, Earl.
All right, here we go. Oh, hang on. I gotta share the sound again. All right, there we go. Zoom's acting up, but here we go.
Thanks for listening to Earl and the Idiot. We hope you learned something you can take action on this week. For more information or to contact the show, visit earlandtheidiot.com. And until next time, remember what Shakespeare said. The fool doth think he is wise, but the wise man knows himself to be a fool.
We got to coordinate those the hand actions. Anyway, thank you, Earl. Thanks everyone for joining us.
Cheers, all.
Thanks, AI. See you all again next week.
Thanks, AI. Got to thank the AI while we're recording and while we're live streaming, so it remembers us.
Yeah.